Welcome into K-State Online. I'm Mason Voth. That is Drew Galloway. Yeah, we're here. It's Friday, July 4th. Did you expect to see us? Probably not. We didn't expect to talk to you on this day. Going back, I don't know, a week or so. The game has changed now, everybody. The Wildcats have gotten up off the mat. They have recovered from missing out on Ian Premer in semi-surprising fashion. And now they have landed a four-star commitment. This immediately becomes the highest-ranked player in their recruiting class. K-State gets a big-time defensive end, Tucker Ashford, out of Fort Worth, Texas. The Wildcats were in this to the end. Houston seemed to be the biggest competition, and we know that there's been a little bit of an uptick in interest in the Cougars lately because they've got one of the top-ranked quarterbacks going to play for them next season, and Willie Fritz just has an idea of where to get that thing moving. But K-State able to come through, land Tucker Ashford, a four-star here with our On3 Rivals rankings, and likely will be once the industry rankings get up to date. But either way, he's a 90 here at Rivals and an 88.83 or something like that in his industry ranking. But again, that's factoring in the old formula. Either way you slice it, this is a big get for K-State, and they absolutely needed this to regain some of their momentum on the recruiting trail.
Yeah, it feels big in the sense that just the decisions that had like that decision date haven't really gone K-State's way of late. Mason Lewis ends up going to Cal, which I think stunned a lot of people. A lot of people had it pegged as like K-State Minnesota, maybe K-State Vanderbilt, maybe Vanderbilt Minnesota, and then Cal came out of nowhere and ended up getting Mason Lewis. Obviously didn't get Premer, so really feels good to be back on the winning side of things and to really reiterate how this really went down. Remember, Tucker Ashford was part of the very first official visit weekend that K-State had. So to go from that and then him visit Illinois and Houston and really hold off Houston at the end, I think that K-State was always out in front, but it just kind of kept getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and then K-State ends up winning out. So pretty much a wire-to-wire win when you look at it, because he was somebody that was offered at a K-State camp last June, goes through the winter. There was a point where I thought that he might be one of K-State's first commits after Brandon Ford, when K-State really put the full court press on him when they visited him at his high school in January. There was a point where I thought that he might commit after the official visit, but it ends up happening on the 4th of July, which is extremely fun. And K-State's had a lot of success on the 4th of July of late.
Yeah, this time of year and this weekend has been good to them recently, and now they get Tucker Ashford. So we know big picture what this means for K-State. Break it down a little bit more. Tucker Ashford as a player, what is K-State looking at here, and what is the timeline like for him once he gets to Manhattan?
Yeah, big defensive end, 6'3", 240, can play the edge in the 3-3-5, can play a defensive end position in a 4-down scheme, can really get to the passer because he's uber athletic. Him and Kingston Hall make for two of the most athletic defensive linemen that K-State has gotten recently. Like, Chidobe Izer's probably that number one, but those two are right on his heels with still another year to play in high school. So I'm excited about that. Ashford runs the 4x100 for his high school and is the lead leg as a defensive end, which I think is extremely impressive. Then he can really get to the quarterback, has good pass rush moves, can play against the run really well. It's easy to see why he is a 4-star in the Rivals ranking. Then as far as timeline to get on the field, we'll see. It is so tough right now to project what a defensive end's timeline is at K-State, because you have all of the 2023 guys are still getting older and progressing, and like, we're hearing really good things still about Ryan Davis, Chidobe Izer, and Jordan Allen. They just added Jayshon Ross, who essentially was like another high schooler last year after redshirting at Alabama. Already have Dalton Knapp and some other freshmen like Brad Stanier. Then you have Tobi Osunsami can still come back another year. So it's tough to really tell what a timeline of him playing is, but defensive end is a position at K-State where if you can play, they're going to play you and you're going to get some snaps at some point. Like we saw, Khalid Duke didn't redshirt. Felix Anudike-Uzama didn't redshirt. Like a lot of guys like that, dudes are dudes early on the defensive line at K-State and have been playing early for a really long time. Chidi Obi's are redshirted but played 4 games. Like if you're able to contribute in any way, K-State's gonna get you on the field.
Well, and just you look at the position, like the defensive ends at K-State with this coaching staff, it's kind of been like running backs. Buddy Wyatt and Brian Anderson, if you look at the cumulative nature of what they've done, might be the most productive position coaches that Chris Kleiman has had. Like, I think you just blindly trust those guys at this point. Like, they've got their rooms figured out. They're bringing in difference makers nonstop. And so then it's any defensive end K-State brings in, you think that they can contribute and do something for you. And then you add into the fact that you've got a blue chip talent like Tucker Ashford with his 4-star status. Like, you get those guys, you just think that it's like adding accelerant to the fire. And this is a significant get for K-State for a number of reasons. The individual player, it's huge, but I think at this specific point in time, K-State really needed a significant recruiting win, and they got it by getting a player of this caliber right after the aftermath of the Ian Premer stuff last week.
No, I agree. It is funny how kind of like timelines play out, because if Ashford were to commit like right before Premer goes to Notre Dame, people kind of downplay Premer going to Notre Dame, but really also don't celebrate Ashford as much. Now, like Ashford had this set commit date of July 4th. Like, you just missed out on Premer, you just missed out on Mason Lewis. Now it's like everybody's gonna, it feels bigger because it feels like the momentum was going away from you, when sometimes it just happens that way. And that's why like recruiting timelines is just so hard to really pinpoint. But it's a big time win. I mean, the amount of interest that he had is up there with everybody in the class. He's going to be the highest rated commit. And I think that there's a potential that he does play early because he's just going to be too athletic to keep off the field. And I think that's the scary thing, is like we talk about all the defensive ends that K-State's had. Tucker Ashford might end up being the highest rated recruit out of all of those guys. It's like you'd expect that he could come in and play right away.
Yeah, kind of crazy to think about, but it's big for K-State to land a player like Tucker Ashford, get back on the right track. And Ashford now joins the K-State recruiting class. He becomes the 17th commitment of the cycle for K-State. And as you mentioned, Drew,
from Texas.
Yeah, another from Texas. We've seen a lot of that. And he is the highest ranked cat at this point in time for 2026. K-State trying to not be done getting players of this high level. So keep it locked in to KSO. Drew's got a lot of great recruiting coverage going on over there to keep you up to date with not just the things that K-State's trying to do to finish off 2026, but also a look ahead to 2027 and who the top targets there are right now. We've got a lot of content coming at you over the next few days, and it won't really slow down once we begin next week because we'll be in Frisco for Big 12 Media Days. So a lot of different stuff heading your way. Head on over to K-StateOnline right now to get that checked out. And a reminder to also go to cats2ireland.com for your travel, hospitality, and ticket info for the Aer Lingus College Football Classic taking place on August 23rd, 2025 between the Kansas State Wildcats and Iowa State Cyclones. This is your last chance to make sure that you are over on the Emerald Isle for this very important and exciting college football game. Farmageddon in Ireland. 2025 Aer Lingus College Football Classic. Make sure you're there taking it all in, and do that at cats2ireland.com. For Drew Galloway, I'm Mason Voth. Thanks for watching and listening to K-State Online. We are back again on Tuesday talking K-State sports, as we will be live from the Star in Frisco. We'll talk to Chris Kleiman and a bunch of the different players that roll through, probably Gene Taylor, and who knows who else we find in Texas this year. Glad to be back in Texas and out of Las Vegas. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, can't wait to be in Texas.
All right, we're out of here. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.